Okay, day 27. This is how I keep myself together. I know what day it is. 27 days. 27 days knitting. Day 27. July 27. Does that make sense? Hey, listen, look at this. See this? Knitting needle sticking out of my bag. One time, I sat down on the couch and I just sort of plopped down. I had double pointed needles sitting in this bag, and I just plopped down on the couch, not even thinking, and one of them went into my thigh, that thick. Yeah, we couldn't even pull it out. Well, eventually we did pull it out, but it wasn't easy. So you gotta watch where your needles are. I'm like, yeah, this is like a potential weapon. You really have to watch these things. Okay, I'm here today because I just wanted to say, why stripes? I'm into stripes now, and it's not as though I haven't done stripes before. I have done stripes before. Stripe top. This is a self-striping yarn, so it doesn't come out quite like the stripes, defined stripes like this, but I have done stripes before. Well, the reason I started it is because we knitters, we have things like this. See that knitting, all those balls of wool? So you buy your wool and you think, oh, I love that color, that's so nice. Oh, that would be fun to knit up. And you purchase all these things. This is a linen. And then it's like, well, what do I do with it? And then you realize maybe that this is all you've got and you need to add to it. So you use a contrasting color. I don't know if this color would work. And this is not something I'm planning on, but stripes. Except that stripes would be better with solid colors as opposed to a variegated yarn. Like maybe solid colors. Oh, I don't know. Solid colors, stripes. So, and I've been noticing a lot of patterns in Ravelry and where else have I been looking? Pinterest. Where else do we look? um, I've been noticing a lot of these striped tops. Even the British magazine that I get, the Knitters magazine, they had a lot of striped tops in there. So I don't know if it's a trend. Maybe it is a fashion trend that's going on. When one thing you need to watch out for, you set that on the floor. What am I saying? One thing you need to watch out for. One thing you need to watch out for. And that is the whole jogging issue. This sweater, here we go. See, can you see the stitching in the back? This is the back of it. See those lines? That's because I was doing a twist to try to get my lines together. It was a method that was suggested. You know, when you get to the end and you're switching your colors, you twist the fabrics, you twist the yarns. This top, and I didn't like that, and I put it right down the center of the back. So this top came later, and I realized, okay, if I'm going to do something like that, I need to put it underneath the arm. Okay, wait a minute. Here's the top. So you need to have that line go underneath the arm. So this one is not quite as obvious, but still it's not smooth. And I'm pretty sure I carried the yarn. I did. I carried my yarns. Now, the top that I'm working on currently, I have to make sure I can pull this out without getting it off my needles. I am doing nice seamless jogs. Nice seamless jogs. So I don't need to be concerned about putting the line underneath my arm. Having said that, I'm still going to position my arm like that. I'm just looking for my marker. Where's my marker? Marker. Oh, here it is. Okay. And a little marker that marks the place where I make my joins. and I introduce my new color. Of course, this is not blocked, so it's a little bit bumpy and so forth, and it'll go nice and smooth when I block it. But I guess the bottom line is I'm liking stripes. I had these wools, I didn't know what to do with them, and I said, look, they're all, if I combine all these yarns together, I have enough for a top. I like knitting. I learned yet another jogless join, which I will share with you later on. Now, I have to say, I'm going for a couple days camping, so I won't be here for a couple of days. I hope you miss me. And but I will be knitting. I probably am going to take this project with me. I'm still working on my green guy, which might be a better top to take, but I'm working on this one. That's inside out. Here we go. Getting there. You ever notice when you knit in the using circular needles, everything kind of leans in certain directions? See the leaning? I don't know if there's much you can do about that. But as I mentioned, oh, my yarn fell down. I'm still learning, and I don't know if I would ever graduate. How many years do you have to do this in order to become an expert knitter, or as one person says, an intermediate knitter? Actually, somebody's told me that I am an intermediate knitter, and I'm like, well, maybe. I just feel like there's so much more to learn. When I was working on my master's, that's one of the things I learned, is that the more knowledge you have, the more you realize that you don't know. So you just keep going. So here's my lace. So now I have finished the 10 rows. Is it 10 rows? Yes, 10 rows. And now it says to repeat another 10 rows. So, I may just continue on. I have enough yarn of this to make that Clee shawlette. But the modification I'm going to make is I will not be doing as many short rows. I'll do a little bit to shape it. But before, when I made it, it was such a moon crescent shape that I didn't like it. And I needed to use a thinner yarn. So this is thinner. So I'll keep posted on all that. And so now I'm going to take my yarn widow husband for a couple of days of just him and me, and camping up at Sabo Falls, if you know where that is. It sounds nice though. Waterfalls and a bit of a hike. And as life has it, we're in another heat wave. Every time we go camping, we've had a heat wave. People are going to start blaming us and saying, don't go. You go camping, we get a heat wave. But we're in the trees and we get the breeze, and I find it better than staying home. And in the background, if you hear a noise, that's our little room air conditioning. We only have one room with an air conditioner. Anyways, talk to you later. I will definitely see you end of month. Cheers. Happy knitting.